guys. Thanks for coming.
What a day it's been, huh?
It's been an awesome day here in awesome Washington, D.C. And it's my birthday day.
Wait, get the hell out of here, really?
We should sing.
Wow!
Sing. Can we sing?
I was going to say
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you.
Alright, so we are going to be doing some general Q&A with the audience a little bit later. We have a microphone right here. So if you have any questions for Kevin, please step up and be ready to ask them. But I'm going to pick your brain a little bit first, if you don't mind. Now, my wife is from the Columbia River Gorge area, and she's relocated to DC. Now, you were born in Portland, right?
Portland.
And now you're in California.
Yeah, we actually.
How is the difference? Like,
It's the weather's slightly different.
yeah, right.
No, I grew up in a very small town in Maine, and it was a great place to grow up because not much to do but dream and imagine and
Oh, man.
and
We are being invaded by Brian Johnson and Maine.
You know these guys?
Yeah.
Good looking guy, right? 35? 35.
35. Yeah, my lovely wife switched the candle on the birthday cake. 35. Thanks, you guys. That was really sweet. Love you. Thanks.
That was unexpected. I wish they told me that. But yeah, so California just treats you, it's just a different way of life, really. It's different speed.
Yeah, you know what's amazing is we studied from a very small town in Maine. You know, lost long and cold winters. There wasn't a lot of time to do. There wasn't much else to do there, so I started comic books at a really young age. And Jack Kirby in particular was a huge fan of that work. And that's basically it. So doing my short work and paying attention to English class and doing all the stuff I was supposed to be doing. I was always drawing, making up my own stories. And so that was really the way I started. And every year I go to Comic-Con in San Diego and be like, why don't I live here? Fantastic. But IEW, you guys reading the IEW series?
Oh yeah.
The incredible Tom Waltz deserve all the credit for making that so cool. He wrote this huge turtle man. But IEW is based in San Diego, and
there you go.
4 years ago they said, why don't you come down here and work for us and work on turtles? So I said yes. And ever since we love it.
That's great. I mean, this is almost like serendipity.
Yes.
You know, it's like meant to be. So, going to skip over turtles for a minute because you told me I wasn't allowed to ask about them. That's just a joke. We'll be back. Heavy metal, man. What was the thought process? Like, you just loved it when you...
Yeah, the Heavy Metal Magazine, I don't know if you guys know Heavy Metal Magazine. It started in 1977. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, right. It started in 1977 and was just importing, translating, importing a lot of European comics, mostly French comics, and everyone else in Spanish. But it also published a bunch of American artists. Richard Corbin, I discovered Richard Corbin through the American artists, lived in Kansas City, Mon Bowie, and some other American artists, contributors. And I always say that heavy metal helped me create the turtles so I could then buy a heavy metal magazine. Which is true. Well, the time that I was just kind of growing out of comic books, they were still written for a much younger audience and they were a little bit juvenile, but I still loved them. I discovered Heavy Metal Magazine, and what was cool about heavy metal is that it was older, edgier science fiction stories, different kinds of genres, film noir kind of stuff, but they all were written for an older audience, and it was kind of a big light bulb went on for me. I said, my goodness, you can tell any kind of story you could ever imagine for any age in comic book form. And so it really propelled me to the next level of seriously committing to wanting to draw comics for the rest of my life, which my parents love. He said, he's never going to move out of the basement for the rest of his life. But discovering out that Richard Corbin was a self-publisher. He published his own work and controlled his own work, and that kind of stuff. So discovering Richard Corbin led me to underground comics and self-publishing, And so Peter and I created the Turtles and wanted to put out the first issue ourselves instead of taking it to some other company and try to sell it. We did not. We'll get into the rest of that story later. But so we self-published the Turtles, and due to the success of the Turtles, because we self-published it, we owned and created all things Turtles, we got to keep all the profits that came with it. So I used my Turtle money to buy Heavy Metal Magazine. So yes, Heavy Metal Magazine, and having created the Turtles, so we buy Heavy Metal Magazine.
Tundra played there as well, like the adult side of things.
Yes. Yeah, Tundra was the company I started.
Am I obscuring questions here? Do you guys know what Tundra is?
Tundra was the company I started. You guys know you ever seen a movie called From Hell, or The Crow, or Tundra called Madman, or well, I published all those originally through this company called Tundra. And Tundra was designed, I was really fond of the Beatles, and I loved what the Beatles did with Apple Records.
Oh yeah,
So a creative-friendly company. The creators that worked with me at Tundra got to keep all the rights to their characters, and I just gave them a platform and published the work. So Tundra started also with Turtle Money, and we
Turtle Money.
Thank goodness for those Turtles.
And now you mentioned your art earlier. You're a bit of a notorious art collector.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite pieces that you have?
What's interesting about when I started collecting artwork, I became really passionate about it because to me it's like I grew up as a big fan of our history. But every time I saw my parents who never thought of me going to the basement of the house, because I love comic books and I want to do this for career, and like, well, you can't make any money doing comic books. This is silly. The same for a lot of art teachers and things I had when I was growing up. I said, I say proudly I want to be a cartoonist, I want to write for our comic books. And they were like, well, that's not really art. That's like something that's fodder for kids. And to me, I was like, whether you liked a velvet painting of Elvis or a Jackson Pollock or something in between, whatever we decide, whatever we decide is art, is art. And so back when the Turtles started having some success, I love comic book art in particular, because so much work goes into it, so I started buying lots of art from guys that I really admire, like Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
And I still have Jack Kirby pieces of my favorites on my studio wall.
Did you ever find any of those art teachers and be like,
Actually, the one art teacher that was particularly great was an art teacher I had in high school, and Jane Haas, I still keep in touch with her. She was incredible. She was great because when I told her that I wanted to draw comic books for a living, she said, okay, well, I see that. She goes, well, it seems to me if you can draw comic books, you literally have to be able to draw every single thing you see. I mean, we're doing a story with, you and me talking to this awesome audience here in Washington, D.C. Not only do I have to draw you and me, I have to draw this water bottle and this cell phone and this chair. And so she would give me all these assignments on my sketchbooks to, do drawings of chairs, car tires, set a bunch of, glasses and a picture on the table. And she said, still lives, people think those are the most boring things in the world, but you need to be able to draw them and draw them in perspective. So she was great. She's still...
They may be born with the fundamentals, kind of.
Absolutely fundamentals. And that's why I always say, it's like, what's amazing is when we do these shows, there's always a group of kids that are young adults or other that come up and they want to be cartoonists and they show me their work. And the first thing I noticed is that they can already draw better than I can, which is scary. But whenever they're doing that, I tell them pretty much the same thing that my art teacher told me. It's like, if you want to write for our comic stories, then you just have to practice. Don't be shy to look at the cartoonists that inspired you, figure out what makes them great, learn how to tell a story, moving a character from panel to panel, and acting, because it really is a simplified progressive.
Sequential art is a whole different talent than, because otherwise you might as well be looking at some of these deviant art page.
Exactly, all these, deviant art's a great site, it is a lot of pinups of that kind of stuff, but yeah, comics are a lot of hard work, it's like, it's not a team sport for the most part, so, late at night when, my wife's like, go to bed, you need sleep, and then it's like, no, I want to finish a couple more pages, and it's like, it's just me sitting there with my little light and drawing each panel, and also having the time of my life, because it's so much fun. I control the whole universe. It's great. Thanks.
I love it. It's just great to hear, I want to be this, and then you are.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Well, yeah, and that's, man, do. I come to these shows, and one of the things I always do is, many things I always do, but the most important thing is I like to point my finger at the audience and blame every single one of you for doing the greatest job in the planet. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so cool. You know, like I said, I've seen young people come to these shows, and I've met lots of different artists over my career. And, you know, I know my place in this world as far as what I can draw, what I can draw, and my abilities. And I see people that can literally draw rings around me that just haven't found the success that you know, being able to draw comics for a living. I get to get up and put on my sweatpants and go get my cup of coffee and sit down there and start drawing turtles.
Pants off.
So pants off.
Well, I'm
Too much
happy
information.
to thank you for creating the turtles. I mean,
Thank you.
one of the most enduring things I think we're ever going to see.
You believe it, 31 years old? Let me adjust my pants and we'll talk.
All right, so let's talk turtles, yeah? So, getting a little bit of European out of the way first. When I grew up with the turtles, they were called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Because we weren't allowed to use the word ninja in England, because we're very prim and proper. And they hated the idea of Leonardo stabbing people. Because they thought we'd copy him. Where am I going to get a sword? You can barely find a stick. How did you take, like, did you have...
Well, it's like, I've been to some photography on
Yeah. It's the game where we actually use our feet. And a ball, not an egg.
No, yeah.
Only in New England.
Only in New England. I grew up in New England, so.
Talk about a slap on the wrist. Sorry. Different subject. Different panel.
Moving on. You guys know how the Turtles were created the story? Yeah. What's that? We.
I believe it's one of them, like on some mutanical thing, like turtles were.
Like a mutagen?
Yeah.
Yes. If you ever see mutagen on the street, don't touch it. The short version is, here now we're sharing a studio. We call it a studio. Actually, the company that owned the Turtles for many years was called Mirage Studios. We called it Mirage Studios because it wasn't Mirage. It wasn't a studio. It was our living room. And Pete used to watch, us on the silliest shows. His favorite shows were like T.J. Hooker, the A-Team, shows like that. So I thought,
William Shatner is here. He will beat you up.
I know, I saw him. We were having the water on the way through between signings earlier today, and so I met Mr. Shatner a few times just to say hi, and then Sean Austin, who's doing the voice of Raphael, was also awesome, semi-CMG, and the new Shredder is here, and then Judith Hope, the original. So it was like a surreal moment. It's like we have Captain Kirk, semi-CMG, and the new Shredder in the movie all have the water and green. So I thought it was my job to annoy Pete as much as possible while he was watching his favorite shows. And so late one night I did this sketch of, I was thinking, if Bruce Lee was an animal, what would be the silliest animal that he would be? Turtle. Fast martial artist, slow moving turtle. And so I did this sketch. Michelangelo was the first turtle ever drawn. I don't know if you guys know that.
It's actually on our shirt.
This is the first turtle drawn. So I did this, get a mask on, he had a nunchuck strap on his arm, and I kind of put it on his desk and I said, this is going to be the next big thing. Ha ha ha. And he got the result, he laughed and he did a sketch and he changed a few things. And then studio, one-upmanship, I had to top his drawing, so I did a pencil sketch with 4 turtles, each with different weapons. And they had, this comic book logo at the top that said Ninja Turtles. Then when he inked it in, we had a Teenage Mutant for the title. And we just thought it was literally the dumbest thing. So we got up the next morning and I was about to say, because we were trying to sell our artistic skills around the industry. And so next to our stack of rejection letters, we had this turtle drawing. So we didn't have any distracting paintwork going on. I said, well, we can come up with a story that tells how these characters could become the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this is one we're keeping for ourselves. At a $500 income tax return, we cleaned out all $200 out of each bank account. and we borrowed $1,000 from my uncle, and we had money to print exactly 3,000 comics. And that was the first issue that came out May 5th, 1984.
Crazy.
So maybe, so then the fun part was figuring out what the story was. So.
But yeah, I mean, like, just hearing you tell that story is like a weird idea that happened to just catch on the cultural zeitgeist at the time, just exploded.
Well, we basically stole everything.
Is no artist original at this point?
No, actually, like I said earlier, Pete and I were always huge fans of comics, and especially Jack Kirby, and he's the one that inspired us to want to write and tell our own stories. And we were putting together the story of the Turtles. We assumed that we would be the only ones reading this comic book ever. So we just sort of picked our favorite comic isms. Like you ever read Dave Sim's Cerebus, was an animal character drawn kind of like Barry Smith, Conan the Barbarian, and he acted like Conan the Barbarian. So I was like, I love animal characters like Commandy, Kirby's Commandy, all neat animal characters. So we had animals, around this time, New Mutants, X-Men, those are really popular as comic books, but I grew up also reading, Avengers and Fantastic Four, X-Men, every superhero scene house. They were exposed to some radiated something or other, gamma rays between superheroes. Alien. And so we had animal characters, mutants, and then I was a big fan of Frank Miller's Daredevil. And, he really reintroduced ninjas as a popular theme in the comic books. So, we really picked the most popular themes, Teenage Mutants, ninjas, animal characters, and kind of put them into a blender. And frappe twice. Came the Turtles. I don't know what Daredevil's origin story is? You watched the new Daredevil series on Netflix? Have you seen that? It's fantastic. There's this truck driving through the streets of New York City carrying radioactive waste. A blind man steps out in front of the truck, and young Matt Murdock jumps out and saves this blind man. And when the truck puts on its brakes, this canister comes loose from the truck and hits young Matt Murdock in the eyes. Well, Turtle origin is very similar to that, but in Daredevil, they never said what happened to the canister afterwards. So we just have the canister continue bouncing down the street. And so we told the same exact thing. The canister continued bouncing down the street, and there's this poor boy named Chad, later Chad. He's standing near this open sewer green cover, and he's holding this terrarium, the glass terrarium with 4 turtles in it. And the canister hits the terrarium, it smashes all the turtles, and the loose fall into the sewer next to this raft, which becomes Splinter. And so Gale's origin is our inspiration for the Turtles' origin. We even went further in Daredevil's mentor, in the Daredevil, Matt Murdock's mentor in the Daredevil series was a guy named Stick. Splinter. And in Frank Miller's Daredevil comic books, there was the hand. So we got the foot. So those are probably as close as we have about getting sued.
And if you did that now, you'd be dumb.
It would be hanging from the...
Well, I'm going to ask Kevin one more question, and we're going to open up to the general audience Q&A. So if you want to start queuing up on the microphone with any questions you would have for Kevin, please do.
Absolutely.
And the question I have for you is, you spoke about printing the 3,000 books and what Turtles have become today. How do you think, if you were to be starting Turtles in an era where you had the internet, for example, how would that affect what you would have done? Like, would you have made it like a webcomic? Would you have made it, yeah?
Yeah, that's what's interesting. We were very fortunate in many ways. When we started the Turtles, literally there's, I think, fax machines that were coming out. There were no cell phone fax machines. There were no cell phones. I still remember Pete's favorite Turtle is Donatello, and he's like, Pete is Donatello. He's the first one that got a computer, the Commodore, 64 or whatever it was. And I'm like, that is never going to take off. That's perfect.
His favorite television.
Actually, I remember my favorite thing I used to tease Pete about was he got one of the first Casio watches with a calculator on it. So he used to like Jethro from Beverly Hillbillies, he'd pull his sleeve way out like this and this casket. We'd split the bill at lunch and be like, let me figure that out for you. He's truly don't tell. No, I think because there was a very small distribution system that only sold comic book stores, and that was how we put out an advertisement in the comic store, and they ordered however many copies they wanted to, and that's how comics were distributed, just to mom and pop comic book stores. Today, it's like, and that's what I tell kids. I mean, today there's so many opportunities. So there's so many great websites, fan websites. You can come up with an idea for a creation. You can create characters. You can own characters. You can put them out on the internet. You can build an audience, not just in your neighborhood or in the United States, but globally. You can introduce your characters and tell these adventures, and if it takes off, it becomes popular. You can take it anywhere before Hollywood swoops in and steals it, and it's a $200 million movie. No.
Because I remember getting Turtles comics earlier, it was the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Like even after they bumped up production, it was so hard.
Oh, that's funny, actually, what I mentioned earlier is like the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. This was the funniest thing I wanted to pass around. The Turtles became really popular here in the States, and Jim Henson's Creature Shop, based out of London, made costumes. Steve Barron, who was the director of the movie, was from the UK. He did the most famous for the Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. He did Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. He was a video genius. And so when we went to the English premiere, because they actually had already changed it to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because Ninja was banned. But they also banned nunchucks.
Yes.
They couldn't show nunchucks in any of the scenes, so all the early British cartoons, they had edited out all the scenes with Michelangelo.
Yep.
It was crazy.
We never saw Michelangelo, we only ever saw Leo draw his swords.
Yeah, never used them.
He never actually used it for anything but cutting pizza.
Yeah. So there's this great scene in the movie. It was really weird because I did John Marasco. He's a huge comic fan.
Was he?
Yeah, he's so crazy. But they thought they showed John Marasco was Michelangelo spitting his nunchucks and was the pizza.
Yeah.
And they showed that clip on the show. But in the movie theater, because it's a critical scene in the movie, that leads to the next scene, they just put this huge gray shadow. So Michelangelo's on the phone. You can see his hands doing something, which is really weird. But it's all completely locked up. They just edited it
It's
all.
absolutely crazy. It's like they didn't think we'd figure it out.
Yes, sir. What's your question?
You mentioned Jack Kirby in the Donatello Micro series. You actually had to submit art to Jack Kirby. How was that?
Well, what's amazing is, we get to meet Jack Kirby a couple times at Comic-Con. And, my favorite Jack Kirby story is, back in those days, the first couple years we were at Comic-Con, they were hoping for like 10,000 people to show